You think you can tell us what to do? You think you can tell us what to wear? You think that you're better? Well, you better get ready. Bow to the masters. Break the wall!
Welcome to Let Me Tell You Something, Brother. This is the ultimate show about sports entertainment in the world of professional wrestling. Learn it's easy for you to say. Learn the ins and outs of storylines, talent on each platform. Of course, Let Me Tell You Something, Brother airs every second and fourth Tuesday right here, 7:15 p.m. through the financial support of our good friends over at the Santos Agency Health Markets right downtown and Tom's Productions. Of course, always great. And hey, listen, it is a great day. Here's the deal, though. Tom, I need you to just close your eyes. I need you to just close your eyes for a minute and take this in. All right? Just here's all I want you to do. Take this in.
Hey, this is Bret the Hitman Hart, and I got a very special shout out going out to a very special man, a longtime fan of mine, and a guy that everyone has so much love and respect for. This is going out to Tom Odell, and this is coming courtesy of Tim. And Tom, I just want to wish you all the best and thank you so much for being that big time wrestling fan that you are. And you were always in my corner. You've always backed me up. You always cheered me on. And you were always just there for me. And that's what everybody loves about you, Tom. Just like Tim looks up to you, just wants to thank you so much for letting me be a partner and your friendship for all this time. And he just wants you to know he's not going to let you down. He's going to make you really proud of what a great friend you've been and what a great guy you've been, and how if these things look for him in the future. And just know that it's much appreciated. And the way you live your life and the way you carry yourself as a man, Tom, you prove every single day that you are the best there is, the best there was, the best there ever will be. Good luck with everything. Thanks for being a great fan. God bless.
Woo! What do you know? A little.
I got a tear in my eye. Thank you so much.
Yeah, no, cheers, man.
That's your brother there.
Yeah. Isn't that cool?
That was awesome.
Yeah. So, I'll send you a copy of that.
Thank you.
Do what you want. But yeah, dude. So, as I was kind of being a fan at the last show and watching, look, there's like this whole wrestling thing. It's like, when you know, right? So there, you know everything about it, and yet you can still be very passionate and love it, knowing what you know, right? It's just like, it came through seeing you and your brothers and stuff talk, and like it was a big deal to me. So as a fan, it came through, and I'm like, what can I do so thank you for letting me be a part of this show with you and inviting me to be a part. And then we got Bret Hart, also best there is, best there was, best there will be.
Very much appreciated.
Yeah.
I'm speechless. Thank you so much.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Show's yours.
Drop the mic. We're done. See you in 2 weeks. That's it.
Yeah, man. It was so courtesy of Cameo, right? And I was on there and I was looking, and it's funny. Some of those the jobbers, they're on there,
right?
They're still trying to live off of their old name and things like that. And it's like the
one-time appearances.
Yeah, they're one-time appearances. And I'm like, out of all these wrestlers, who should I go with? Should I go with his all-time favorite, or should I go with Brooklyn Brawler? I don't know.
Lombardo. Steve Lombardo's
no, just kidding. It was no brainer for me. So anyways, thank you again.
That's it. AEW had a big weekend, right?
They did. And to Tom's surprise, and I know I was going to say you start the show with Vince's interview with Pat McAfee, but he was surprised. I told him today I actually got the AEW Revolution pay-per-view because as an avid wrestling fan, I watch whatever I can, even if I don't necessarily love it. But look, the Packers watch the Bears football tapes, right? They got to see like how they play, what they're up to. So I had to check it out. And AEW with their surprises, their signings, as much as I want talent to stay with WWE, I do appreciate them getting an opportunity somewhere else. So when people are cut, when people are let go. There's still some big names like Bray Wyatt out there. Like, when is he going to pop up? Is he going to show up? Well, it would have been a perfect opportunity for that at this. This is one of the AEW doesn't have pay-per-views every month.
Pay-per-views they have throughout the year.
Yeah. So it was actually a really good show. A lot of action, all the matches. Everyone's got their high spots, their extreme wrestling style still. There's like very edgy, you know, lots of blood, lots of things going on. 5 hours of wrestling and pretty much all just solid jam-packed wrestling. Yeah. So it was entertaining to watch. But that being said, I'm still looking forward to WrestleMania.
And that's where when I was watching AEW this weekend, I missed the pay-per-view. I'm not going to spend $50 for it, but like watching Rampage on Friday night and even a replay of Dynamite, like if you want to watch wrestling, watch AEW. If you want to be entertained, watch WWE. Just from what they're doing with their bits during Raw and SmackDown, it's like they're just doing entertaining bits right now, because now you got Johnny Knoxville, you got Logan Paul out there now, and it's like it's all celebrity kind of stuff to be entertained. Yeah. While AEW, it's more the wrestling itself, almost less talk, more wrestle. Yeah.
So it kind of has to be that way, because a lot of AEW, unless you're like, I consider myself a huge fan of professional wrestling or sports entertainment. That being said, there's a lot of internet people out there who watched, you know, Ring of Honor and Impact Wrestling and TNA and WWE and everything else. And like, I honestly had never really paid too much attention to like the indie or the smaller companies. So a lot of AEW talent, along with ex-WWE, is a lot of those wrestlers like from Ring of Honor and Impact, and they're crossing paths and this and that. So a lot of the reason why I still, you know, I just can't get behind AEW is I don't know the people, and like their storylines to me, I don't have a vested interest in it because I don't know anything about their background. With WWE, I've known them, you know, since they've come into the company.
62-year-old Stinger, though.
What he did on Sunday, I saw the replay of that one.
Right, that was impressive for an old guy.
Yeah,
kudos to him.
Yeah. Absolutely. But so William Regal came to AEW. Looks like he'll be a manager, maybe of some form.
Well, I'm hearing he may be
at the Ring of Honor.
Yeah, because that's the big news is AEW purchased Ring of Honor, outbid Vince, which a lot of those guys are very thrilled about. So their collection's not going to be on the app or on the Peacock Network or whatever.
Yeah.
Ring of Honor is supposedly going to be their developmental brand, kind of like NXT is for WWE. So I think that's a good thing for them. Hopefully it gets them like maybe a Tuesday or even like a Saturday night kind of show for you to get another day of wrestling in there. I don't count NXT anymore, but
as a tribute to that purchase, CM Punk actually came out wearing his Ring of Honor gear and his Ring of Honor music. Which was again, not knowing anything about Ring of Honor. I had no idea what was happening, but the crowd loved it. They were singing along and stuff. So it was like there's just a different level of fandom and I don't know.
And I figured something was up when Ring of Honor is having their first Hall of Fame induction, and they're all AEW guys for the most part.
That's true. Yeah. Well, okay. So, look, kudos, props to AEW. It was actually a pretty awesome, jam-packed, lots of wrestling, lots of great moves, lots of memorable things.
Got bloody.
A lot of blood.
A lot of blood. So that's the only thing. Like, you know, a lot of blading going on. And I told you earlier, you could see when CM Punk starts bleeding, you know. But that being said, it was really awesome. So I enjoyed it. And but Raw, I feel like took a page out of that book. Like they must have been watching too, because they started out Raw with tag team triple threat, and they were doing all the high spots.
Same moves,
they led with a huge match, and it was really good. It was really good.
But I was like, hey, I just watched that on Wednesday on Dynamite.
They do go back and forth, as we talked about. But the other big news was first time in 15 years, Vince McMahon sits down to do an interview with Pat McAfee.
That was amazing.
And it was one of the best interviews I think he's actually ever had. He seemed to be himself. And
he wasn't playing the bit.
He wasn't playing the bit. He wasn't being very reserved as he has in the past, because a lot of times he's like he's a little shy guy and kind of mumbles and talks slow and doesn't like that McMahon persona. To be broadcast unless it's in the WWE ring. And yeah, it was like, for me personally, watching it was a lot of the business mindset of him.
Mm-hmm.
And what I've noticed a common thread is, especially with the billionaires, they never sleep. Like they're never tired.
Right.
And it's like, I need like 4 or 6 hours of sleep, whatever, at least, like solid, consistent. And he's like up at 1:30 in the morning working out, and rest of the day, and gets all his work done on the jet plane, and off the next show, And it's like that billionaire mindset. And what he also said too is he never works a day in his life anymore.
Yeah. So there was a lot of look, there's Mr. McMahon, the character, which I feel like a lot of fans grasp that as that is who Vince McMahon is the character that he played. But truthfully, like the behind the scenes, when you watch any of like the biographies and stuff, not one of them ever say that Vince McMahon is this tyrant of a person that he portrays. Even the wrestlers that are let go, whatever, they may talk about how the company is ran, but they never say Vince McMahon was an asshole to me. I don't think I've heard anyone actually say that. So there, he definitely.
Well, maybe Brett.
Yeah. Well, look, but you know, that a one-off situation in the 50 years he's been running the company or whatever, a long time. So, you know, there's business differences, right? So in my previous life, I was a restaurant manager, and I didn't always appreciate my leaders and my managers, as well as I was a manager. I know the people that worked under me didn't always appreciate what I did, but you always had to do what was best for business, which is what caused the conflict.
Right.
So when you had to send somebody home because you weren't making the money that you're supposed to make in that day, well, you're cutting into what that person's supposed to be making, but that's not my job to do that. My job is to make the company money. And that's what Vince has to do, right? So now on the backside of that, it's like, well, you made $1 billion last year. Did you really need to cut all these people? I was thinking of it as this way. He could have hung on to all those people and made $750 million by hanging on to those contracts. But he actually did him a favor. All these people he let go and landed in AEW would just be sitting and catering on WWE if they weren't let go.
Hey, am I going to get 5 minutes?
You know, probably hating their life.
Match,
like, you know what I'm saying? So he actually gave them another chance to get out there. He's revitalized the wrestling world by allowing these people to even be out there to be picked up.
Well, and a businessman, if you're close to retirement, you want, you know, what's your exit strategy? If I just bolstered, you know, the value of my company on the sell, not a bad idea, right?
He said it with WCW that it was a great time. It's always great to have a competitor. Yeah. Right. So he's like,
he likes confrontation.
He's creating the competition, which in turn is getting people to tune in to see, how do you answer back? How does WWE answer AEW's big surprise and their big announcement? And then you get all the dirt sheet people that are all these rumors, and people are tuning in. One of the most bizarre things that you'll see on Twitter is the AEW, mostly AEW fans that are like, I hate WWE, blah, blah, blah. But yet they know everything that happens on every Raw and every SmackDown because they're actually watching.
They're watching.
Yeah, they're watching both.
To it, Tim.
They're watching both. I don't watch all of AEW stuff because I'm just not a fan of it. So it's like, you know, every time you guys tune in, you're giving them another viewer, which is where the ratings are coming from. I don't know. It's just not clicking. Stop watching.
That's it.
Anyhow.
Yeah. Well, and some of the moves now, like who was it? AEW. It was like a double suplex thing, and I'm like, come on, we've gone too far with this one. You know, so yeah, you get on my shoulders, I'm on the top rope, I climb up on your shoulders.
And that's kind of my issue with Raw this past week. If you watched them set up the spot, like, get over there, Otis.
Yeah.
But it's that fluidity. It wasn't there, right? You're just like, oh gosh.
And usually WWE's a lot better with that.
Yeah,
they're usually like, this is how we're going to do it, and they get the right camera angles at the right time. Like, you never see the punch land because they always cut to the next camera.
Right. Yeah.
Well, AEW is a little bit behind on it. So, wow, that's guy
you see the punch miss. Right.
Whoops.
Yeah.
Anyhow, a little bit more from that interview, though. Yeah. So a lot was said about cutting the dead weight, and again, just business, right?
Right.
But he's also going to be the one inducting the Undertaker to the Hall of Fame.
Right.
He's going to be
the second guy he's doing after Stone Cold.
Yeah. So that's pretty cool.
And yeah, it's like watching a lot of documentaries or whatever, you saw how close Vince was to the Undertaker, especially after Undertaker lost Brock Lesnar, his first loss at WrestleMania. Vince left the show to go to the hospital with the Undertaker. A lot of people didn't know that at the time, and he was actually there, like worried about his health and well-being and whether or not he made the right decision or not.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like, and for him too, as the Undertaker was always that loyal guy, no matter what. It was honest, and
when everyone was jumping ship to go to WCW, he stood by his side. Bad gimmicks and all and everything, and just kind of was that center, that cornerstone, that tombstone, if you will.
And he was always that locker room leader.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. Him and Shawn Michaels stuck through it. Right.
Yeah.
That's why Jericho said in his book, like where he was actually going to quit the WWE after the Fandango match at WrestleMania when he had to take the loss to him. And the Undertaker actually pulled him aside and like talked to him about it and said, "Hey, this is actually going to be beneficial for you, and don't take it so personally." Because like when I first watched that match, I'm like, "Oh wow, Jericho's actually putting the guy over."
Yeah,
which is unheard of, especially Fandango, where he has a cheesy dancer gimmick.
Uh-huh.
But and that's where I was kind of caught off guard when I was reading his book. Like, oh, Jericho actually didn't want to do that.
Yeah. So to put it in perspective, Chris Jericho, one of the greatest professional wrestlers of all time, entertainers, rock star, everything, right?
A little chubby now.
No, he's back in shape.
He's back in shape, six pack and everything.
Six pack and everything right now.
Yep, he took a little leave of absence. It's been a topic of conversation.
If he had ab implants or not.
Yeah, what's going on? Anyways, WrestleMania, biggest stage of them all.
This guy right here?
Vince has
that was him last year.
Yeah.
Go to 2 days ago.
That's him last year.
Yeah, Vince had him lose to Fandango.
That's a bunch of his boys he was drinking there.
Yeah, right. All right, I'll find it. Let me.
Boys are pretty much, it's a Sprite vodka. If you, for those that didn't know.
For those, if you didn't know.
If you didn't know. Some more useless trivia by me.
Yeah,
I'm good at that too.
So what else is going on?
So we had Vader is now, speaking of Hall of Fame, he's the next inductee, and then I think it's long overdue. They should have done it 4 years ago when he was still alive. Mick Foley was pleading the case for him to be in while he's alive, knowing that he was in bad shape before he passed. And then for me, Vader, he was on Boy Meets World in the mid '90s. Game WWE or WWF at the time, that exposure was him and Jake the Snake Roberts, and he played Frankie's dad on the show. He had a few guest appearances that were pretty funny and comical. He just in the WWF at that time, there was the click issue with Shawn Michaels. They had a bad match. Michaels didn't like it and pretty much buried Vader right then and there. And you never really saw another title shot except for the In Your House pay-per-view was the Fatal 4-Way.
So Vader tells a story. I forget who, and I think he was inducting somebody into the Hall of Fame at the time, where he got hit in the head with, they were doing some sort of maybe even like a dog collar type of match, and he got hit in the head, in the face with it, and it literally knocked his eyeball out of its socket, and he still finished the match. That's
I almost want to say it was Mick Foley.
He may have been wrestling him as
Cactus
Jack.
Yeah, I think it was the Cactus Jack match.
Yeah,
New
it might
Japan
have been
or something.
Yeah, but he literally finished the match eyeball out of socket. Wow, that guy's
what?
He was the mastodon.
Wow.
He did come as the mask, didn't he? Wear a mastodon.
It was like some weird elephant
yeah,
overhead thing, and I think he had smoke coming out of it. I mean, he was powerful and dominant in WCW. I mean, for a guy his size, he was pretty mobile.
Yeah,
kind of like the Bam Bam Bigelow.
He battled Sting and Ric Flair, probably.
Yeah. I mean, I enjoyed his matches then. But in WWF, he just never got it.
This guy?
Not yet. You're almost there, Ken. For those who can't see, Ken is scrolling to try to find Chris Jericho's six-pack picture from this past Sunday.
I don't know. I doubt it. I'm not buying it.
And then the other Hall of Fame inductee I saw is that Psycho Sid may be the next one in line.
That guy?
That is that guy.
That is that guy.
Yeah, that is from Revolution.
All right, let me share.
It's a big six-pack. A little wider than normal.
Let me share this with. Let me share this with the folks. I don't know.
It's getting on there.
Yeah, if you want my take,
You see the 6-pack there.
You got the man boobs. He looks like your neighbor. I don't know.
Cutting the grass.
I don't know, man.
Right.
You should see my
I'd still
neighbor.
take that.
I don't know.
My
I'm fine
neighbors
with that.
don't look like that. Sorry, Brian.
I know you guys love the guy. You love him.
I do. I love Chris.
Hey, and Chris, you want to come in and smack me around? That's okay.
Well, they will be in town April 2nd with
Yeah.
Fozzy
So, yeah.
in Aurora.
Got a couple questions out there about the upcoming big show. What surprises do you think we're going to see at WrestleMania? And do you think AEW will try to replicate WrestleMania type show? It's a barrel. It's not a 6-pack, she said.
So with the big
I'm with you,
show,
Ted. Very
WrestleMania
weak.
coming up, I don't like the 2-night thing.
I
think
don't either.
They got to get rid of that. They have too many matches, and it's
You lose
condense
interest.
it. You lose interest, and like what AEW did this past Sunday, nonstop entertainment, good match after good match.
Yeah.
Even like the matches that are supposed to be like your bathroom break or cool down
Yeah.
matches, were still entertaining.
Mm-hmm.
But WrestleMania this year, it's like there's only a handful of matches I care to watch. The rest of them, like, get rid of it.
Honestly, I don't think there's enough matches on the card right now to fill
Dude,
both.
right,
There got to be a
right.
lot more matches coming up. So, they're doing a lot with the entertainers right now. A lot of like,
Right.
first opening bout type of matches throughout most of the card until you get to the championship
Right.
matches.
And both women's are on Saturday.
Yeah.
Matches I saw,
Mhm.
and I think now KO with now
Yeah.
Austin's accepting the invite
Yeah.
for one more.
Yeah, what was that?
So like it's been a
There
build
was
up
something out
here.
on Twitter there, right?
Yeah, it's a build up. So Kevin Owens has been talking crap about
Yeah.
Texas.
Mm.
And lots of wrestlers are from Texas, actually. So
Yeah.
lots of big time, including the Undertaker.
Undertaker,
Well,
why it's
if
being
Death
inducted.
Valley's in Texas, I don't know if it is or not, but
California.
Yeah.
But
anyways,
just sounded.
that being said, he's been taking digs at Texas for the past month or so, and on last night on Raw, towards the end of the Raw, Kevin
After failing
Owens
to win the tag team titles.
Yeah, so he's got no match in WrestleMania right now. They weren't able to get in there, and so he's looking for a way to get into WrestleMania. So he called out Stone Cold last night.
At the very end of the show to close it out.
Yeah, and then today Stone Cold accepted, and he said he doesn't know if it's going to be the KO show, a confrontation, a match, whatever it's going to be. Stone Cold will be there.
And he has one last cannibal pass he's going to open.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I know they're trying to get a match out of him, and they're trying to get more matches out of him. And I know the Saudi Prince wants a match.
Yeah. So look, Austin hasn't wrestled in 19 years. His last match, he was rock bottom 3 times. He lost and he left.
And only The Rock knew.
Yeah.
That was the last one.
And but since then, at a handful of WrestleManias, he has given out stunners to people.
Right.
I think the New Day all got stunned. Like a bunch of people got stunned. So it's not like he hasn't done what everyone wants to see.
Right.
Right. So if he goes out there, like when he first became Stone Cold, when he'd run out to the ring, give someone the stunner, flip him the birds, then go stand on the turnbuckles and slam beers. If that's all you get out of him, the crowd is going to go bananas for it. So that's really, I'm not looking for a technical match from Stone Cold 20 years removed from wrestling. That's not what you're going to get.
No.
You're going to get a couple punches and you're going to get,
would say, a slobber knocker.
Yeah. Yeah. This ain't going to be a classic. This isn't going to be a Rock Stone Cold.
No, he's not going the time limit.
No. I would expect 30 seconds before someone's stunned and that's it.
Throw a beer to him.
Yeah.
But back to Sally's question, any surprises? I think The Rock will be there.
I feel like The Rock is coming. I feel like Roman is going to go over Brock. He's going to have both belts, and then that's going to start. You're going to hear The Rock's music hit, and he's going to come out
and challenge him to Hollywood.
Yep, challenge him. The next WrestleMania is in Hollywood at where the Rams play at their new facility.
Where the last Super Bowl was.
SoFi Stadium. Yeah, where the Super Bowl was. Rock's done it before. Called out John Cena the day after WrestleMania. Said next WrestleMania, me and you, and it was a year out. So I could see it happening.
Rock's how old?
47, I want to say.
47,
yeah, something like that.
48.
48.
Yeah.
40. He's in. Yeah,
he looks in the best shape of his
Oh,
life.
man's a beast. Don't get me wrong.
Well, that's what's funny now. Is the
But
wrestlers now, like the older they get, it's like the better they are in shape. Goldust, for
Mhm.
example, one of them. Like he's in
Yeah.
way better shape than he was 20, 30 years ago.
Got out of those gold pajamas. But I mean, The Rock's another one of those guys who's up at 3 a.m. working out.
Baning and cleaning.
Yeah.
Yep.
Actually had his app that would I wake up to. He'd sing me a song. Good morning, sunshine.
Yeah, up
There's
at
a
3
rock
o'clock
now.
in the morning and getting his workout in. It's first of
Before
few.
cardio.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And 12 meals of cod.
Yes.
But I mean, what if? So then he's not gonna. If he does that, then he's not gonna be the owner.
He
You know-
still can be.
Yeah, I don't know.
Right?
I don't think Vince
Does
is
that
selling.
delay it?
Well, Vince said like
That's all speculative.
his
That's all
mom lived to be
speculation.
101 years old.
Yeah.
He's not planning on going anywhere at all, but he could also just be saying that to set up with The Rock.
Yeah,
I still think The Rock's
look,
going to buy him.
The Rock could come in, keeps him in the loop, keeps him on the road, keeps him in conversation with Vince for the next year.
Mhm.
Maybe a deal happens, maybe it's sold, but honestly, I think Vince is going to have to die before it's not his. I don't know.
Yeah,
That's his baby.
I don't see
He's
it,
not
yeah.
get. I mean,
that's
that's
true.
he's got literal children, but I think he cares
Yeah.
more about the WWE than he does them.
Well, he just fired one of
There you go.
Supposedly. He was in Africa
them. That's right.
doing negotiations. So
That's right.
it may be just kind of a cool down thing and come on back.
Yeah, we'll see.
So do you think? So now we've got back when I was a kid, right? We had the Iranian Sheik, bad guy, right? Now Russia's
Bolsheviks.
Are we seeing a setup, a new character coming in that's a bad guy or no?
I think they're done with that after what was that? It was 10 years ago. There was the terrorist attacks, and they kind of
Yeah.
had a character, and I was like,
Didn't
the
work.
network said,
Little
no,
too
you're
soon.
not doing it, and
Yeah,
cut
a
him
little too
out.
soon.
Forgot what the guy's name was, but ever since then, it's like they kind of got away from the political affairs.
Yeah, I think being on Fox now is going to probably poo-poo any sort of angle like that. I'm sure they got
Any
to get
type of
approval.
stereotypes. and,
Yeah, it's the stereotypes, things like that, and real world situations. I don't know. Wrestling hasn't really been about that. That was more good versus evil days, and it's a big gray line now. 1 week someone's a good guy, next week someone's a bad guy. We had Edge turn heel this past Monday as well, not this one, but the week before.
Yeah.
So
Which
yeah,
I did like how Edge came out last night. Started out with the music, and it just kind of faded away, and came out to that glow, and back to like 1998 Edge.
Yeah.
Right. Ted says Triple H versus The Rock, winner takes owner's match. Triple
Yeah.
H ain't getting in that.
That's fine with
Yeah.
me because Triple H ain't wrestling.
He ain't
anymore.
getting back in that squared
No.
circle.
He's done with the
Yeah.
heart issue.
Absolutely. Yeah. The old ticker. Not
Yeah.
ticking so much. That is it. Good stuff, though, all around. You're listening to 21.6 The Nat. This is Let Me Tell You Something, Brother, right here. Sports entertainment, the world of wrestling. You got these guys, Tim and Tom. They know their stuff. Of course, if you have any questions, feel free to shoot them out there and let us know. A lot of stuff going on right now. And I still don't like how we're still holding on to the old guys. We can't.
But
We can't develop enough cool talent and storylines.
and Brock Lesnar had that on the Pat McAfee show too. Like he's like, the guys just they're not developing right.
Yeah.
And they're so busy focused on their high spot.
Yeah.
And not building that relationship with the audience and the storytelling and the artwork and craftsmanship that's involved in it. It's just
Well, and you take a look, right? So who just signed a $3 million contract? Couple weeks ago.
AJ.
Yeah, AJ Styles, right? Yeah. So the interesting thing is, it's like with all sports, right? I mean, you take a look back at the glory days when you had Michael Jordan in basketball. You had Joe Montana. These guys played for the ring,
Right.
and it paved a way for these guys to get all this money. And now you watch all these professional sports; they're all watered down. I mean, take a look at what was the NFL All-Pro game. That was ridiculous. They should have been in, they should have been in lingerie for the way they played.
flag
right?
football.
Right.
Yeah.
So now you see that. So now, hey, I signed I got $3 million. No, who cares? I got this contract.
Which is a lot because back
Yeah,
20 years ago, I mean, they're lucky if they even got $1 million.
or 100,000 even. You're right.
Yeah, I mean, it was. I was kind of shocked at the numbers. It was like the highest paid guy was like $600,000 a year.
Yeah.
And like Brett's contract, when he signed a 20-year contract with WWF before Vince cut it out, was like I think $500,000 a year for 20 years.
Right.
And it was just kind of like,
which is still pretty sweet. But
I mean, I tell
when
you,
you think about
you're
how much
traveling
they travel
350
and what they do to their body.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah.
I was like, is that worth it?
Right.
Yeah.
At
And
that
like,
time,
probably
it
not.
was right.
I went that were really making the millions, where the John Cena's, the Rocks, and Hogan's in Austin's making.
They say their real
money.
money comes from the merchandise, though. So
Oh,
if
yeah,
you're
sure,
making
it's a-
600 grand and then your merchandise deal,
Mhm.
you're probably you're
Right.
you're pulling in $1 million.
Your boy just signed what 200 million.
Aaron Rodgers.
I know he's not your boy.
Thank you.
We got
Green
him
Bay,
for another
doing
4
that.
years.
Right? Yeah.
So he'll take up all the salary room, so we won't be able to get to the Super Bowl.
That's a crazy.
And he'll
That's all
complain
right,
some
though.
more.
Yeah.
That's a crazy.
So the whole wrestling thing, the newer wrestlers,
Yeah.
the new school wrestlers versus the old school wrestlers, this kind of got me thinking. I was having a conversation with a potential client, and he was talking about hiring and how it's hard to find like hardworking people, particularly younger guys in the
Sure.
industry that he was in. Everyone kind of comes in with this sense of entitlement. They're on their phones. They're, don't take direction well. They feel like they should get paid, $30 an hour when this is their
Entitled
first
and-
job. Very entitled. And look, the workforce that's got to be trickling over to the world of sports and sports entertainment as well. They're not putting in the time to build that relationship with the audience.
Yeah.
They're trying to do a backflip off the top rope
Right.
through a table, whatever it is, trying to perfect that to get the pop the one time, but they're just not, they're cut from a different cloth or whatever that saying is, right? They're coming in expecting the world, but not really working for it. And I think a lot of the talent that has been cut had that mentality. Actually, when you go through the names of people.
And that's where like Vince, a lot of times when he does that, it's the whole go work on your craft, come back, like Drew McIntyre did, Jinder Mahal did.
Like you almost, that pay your dues, pay your dues, come back.
Be more appreciative and work harder and understand.
It's all about the game and how you play it. It's all about control. If you can take it, it's all about your dad.
Somebody needs to spit some on it.
It's all about playing. Who's gonna make
There we go.
I am the game. You don't wanna play.
Of course, that music means it's time to play the game. Best of, worst of, right here. Let me tell you something, brother. This is where I hit him with a quick off the elbow off the top ring rope. Here we go. Best of, worst of ring announcers ever.
I don't know.
For me, growing up, it was Monsoon and Heenan together.
Oh, that was a good one. Yeah.
I think that was the best tandem.
So commentary.
We're
talking.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not talking like Howard Finkel in the middle of the ranks. I'm like, I don't know if I know enough of them, but you probably would be the greatest.
Yeah. The color guys, right? The call. Yeah.
Yeah. Look, when I go back and like, yes, Bobby Heenan and Gorilla Monsoon together,
Right.
their dynamic together was awesome.
And how Monsoon was always able to keep it straight face and not crack up. It was beyond me.
Yeah. And then it led into Vince McMahon and Jesse the Body Ventura for a lot too, which was great as well. They really did a lot. So greatest though of all time, like if it's not JR and the King,
Right.
I don't know. Monsoon and Heenan come really close, but JR and the King, that was everything to me as a teenager, Attitude Era, all that stuff.
Because there was a while the King annoyed the crap out of me when he first
Yeah.
started. And even JR when he first started, like WrestleMania 9, it was kind of like, for me, it was that sudden change because also here's a WCW guy, and there's no more Gorilla, there's no more Heenan, there's no more Jesse. It's like even Piper out there and Macho Man. It was kind of like,
you know what? I remember that when JR first came because it was at Caesar's Palace, that one, right?
Caesar's
One of
Palace,
the worst WrestleManias there was.
the second worst, yes.
Yeah. And I remember from WCW, I'm like, nerd is over here
Right.
now. Like, what happened to our? I don't know whose spot he took. He took someone's spot. Maybe it was Bobby Heenan at the time. I don't know.
It was, I think it was Vincent and Jesse,
Okay,
actually.
Got it.
Because Gorilla, I think his last one was it 6, 5 or 6?
yeah, Gorilla Monsoon, Bobby Heenan, best of
Right.
all time.
I think they were the best tandem.
Yeah.
All time. And as far as a single announcer, I mean, it's hard now not to argue Jim Ross. With
Yeah,
all the memorable calls he had,
Yeah.
and you could almost kind of pull him with anyone. Like even with Paul Heyman and him, it's kind of an interesting dynamic. But yeah, but for like the worst for me would be Mike Adamle. I don't remember.
I don't even know who that is. So yeah,
he
I agree.
was actually an NBC5 sportscaster.
Uh-huh.
He was also the host of American Gladiators. And it was
Okay.
the Raw GM for a little bit.
Got
And they
it.
tried to make him announcer, and he was horrible.
Yeah,
And I know it's part of it was with his health issues he had in background, but I was like, I don't know how he got the deal to be on TV and to get that gig. But I mean, it was very hard to listen to.
my worst, probably just out of hate during the time, is going to be like Eric Bischoff and Tony Schiavone or
I
something
actually
like
like
that.
Schiavone.
I
Yeah,
don't know.
Tony Schiavone.
During that time, though, it's like I just despise WCW so much.
Right.
So
See, now
Anyways.
I'm going way back. Ted will probably appreciate this one. I'm going way back. Gordon Soley.
Gordon Soley.
Oh, Gordon on Saturday nights. Man, he could call it, right?
So was he with WWF or
WCW. I think.
WCW?
Yeah, he was WCW guy.
Was it WCCW? at the time?
WCCW,
so
right?
See, I don't know. So when I a story with my dad's dad, I don't know what wrestling it was, but it had Jeff Jarrett, and I don't know. But I was
Mountain
like,
South?
maybe it was. I don't know. It was on TV, and that was the first time I saw Jeff Jarrett, though. And I don't know the announcer guy, but brings back some memories anyway, some good memories of me and Gramps. But
The other one I couldn't stand was Lord Alfred Hayes.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah.
He would
Oh,
just
my
irritate
God.
me. I'm like, why is
So
he on?
Yeah.
As a kid, I'm
Yeah.
like, turn him off. And I think he did like Saturday Morning Superstars or something like that. I was just like,
Mhm.
Yeah, and then worst, I think I would throw out. You know, they tried Conan. Remember, they tried Conan behind the mic for a little while, but the worst of all was our good friend Stevie Ray, Booker T's
Booker T's
brother.
couldn't do it.
Just horrible.
You know, one of the funniest clips I saw, it just reminded me of that, was I guess Booker T did commentary in
As King
TNA.
Booker.
In TNA,
Oh, in
though.
TNA, yeah.
TNA.
There
right?
was like some sort of pay-per-view event where with his microphone in, he's an entrant into this match.
Oh,
So he gets up and he's like calling it as he's doing. He's like, "Oh, Booker T kicks him in the stomach," and he like kicks the guy in the stomach, and he's calling it too. It was like one of the funniest things I've
that's
seen.
hilarious.
Yeah, look it up.
That's
I
a
will.
guy who did well for himself too.
Yeah.
Booker T came a long way.
5-time world champion.
5 times.
Five
Yeah,
time.
yeah.
Five
Five
time.
times.
Can you dig it, sucker?
Yeah.
Sucker.
And right now, I like how Jericho's kind of doing the transition where he does it Friday night on Rampage for AEW. I think he's
Mhm.
going to
Mhm.
eventually morph into that. He'll be the color commentator, and Taz is
Yeah,
always
he'd be
been-
good at that.
Taz is good. Like, if he's on, it's fine.
Mhm.
If he's off, it's fine. But there's some other guys like Corey Graves is kind of hit or miss for me.
Yeah.
McAfee has come a long way.
Yeah.
First, I was kind of annoyed by Pat, and now he's really grown
Dude,
up.
I love it when he gets up on the desk and he
And start-
dances the Shinsuke's
Mhm.
music. Yeah.
But yeah, him and Michael Cole right now, I
Yeah.
think they're the best ones right now for WWE. Because Raw seems like they've had a new one every 3 months.
Yeah.
Someone else comes in.
Yeah. Michael Cole doesn't get the credit he deserves, though,
No.
from starting as a backstage
Backstage
interviewer,
interviewer.
to a staple on commentary for
Yeah.
20 years.
As Vince would say, he's a horrible human being.
Yep, he said that. He said that in
Very straight face.
yeah.
Yeah. And then Coach, right? Jonathan
Oh, Jonathan
Coachman.
Coachman,
Yeah.
I like Coach.
Now I see him on ESPN once in a while. I'm
Uh-huh.
like, wow, what's he doing?
Yeah.
But
I
he
think-
was good
I
too.
think he said he's never coming back there, though. Yeah. The last run he had just wasn't good, and
Yeah.
I guess was empty promises, and
Yeah, he's making good money over there at ESPN.
Yeah.
Stay there.
not too far down the road, Connecticut.
Connecticut, right? Yeah, that's right. And that, of course, was best of, worst of, right here. Let me tell you something, brother. See, I like hitting you guys. See, but you always know
Yeah.
your stuff. You come through, go, let me think about this. Totally off the cuff. That is it. That is it.
Hey, Steph.
That is it. We got some good things going on, of course.
Our favorite bookkeeper.
There you go.
Mhm.
All about wrestling, all about the world of sports entertainment. So are you guys into the blood? So right, the Revolution. We're going back to AEW. Pretty bloody.
Wow, this is the most we've talked about AEW.
I know.
We have Bret Hart on to open a show on
Right?
AEW. This
This
is
is like
the best show ever.
right. So, I mean, it was a heck from, and I didn't watch it live, right? But I've gone back and seen clips and done some things, and there were some great matches. There were some weird matches, but I like that it got bloody. That's old school wrestling to me.
Yeah.
Right.
Blood sells. Blood's exciting. Blood shows that it's able to depict like emotion and hurt and pain that they want to be over the top with it.
Yeah.
The most iconic moments are the blood matches.
Yeah. Like look at that you just showed CM Punk all bloodied up.
And the dog collar match with
The
MJF.
dog collar.
Yeah,
I mean, look at
MJF
that.
got robbed.
And here's the thing I always think is funny, like basketball, somebody gets a bloody nose, they got to take their jersey off. Look at these guys. You're like, what?
Right. All covered for the next
right?
match.
Oh my God.
Yeah, we've had others. More blood.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. But so blood, I think of Stone Cold.
WrestleMania 13.
WrestleMania 13, Bret Hart putting the sharpshooter on him right here at Allstate Arena. One of the most iconic from that era, anyways. Pictures.
How many years they had that as like their opening for Raw too?
Right.
Yep. If you try to watch it on Peacock or the network, it's all black and white.
Oh, it is all black.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they don't show blood on the replay.
Well, I have that on DVD, so I can watch that whenever I want.
Nice.
So.
Yeah.
Yeah, but so AEW delivered the blood, that's for sure.
Yep.
And they have the superstar, I think going to be the biggest superstar in the business for the next many years to come in MJF. He's got the it.
Yeah, MJF
He can talk, he can storyline, he can sell, he can act. I mean, a couple weeks ago when he was in the middle of the ring by himself and did that story about when he was a kid and how CM Punk left him. I mean, it actually was a true story. And how he used that in the match against Punk and to set that up. I mean, that was probably the best storyline this year, if not recent years in all of wrestling.
But he ultimately got screwed by his buddy,
Wardlow, yeah. Which is good too, because now it's setting him up too, and he's another likable guy, and big things are going to happen for him too if he gets the TV time. Because that's the one issue with Tony Khan right now. It's every Wednesday. It seems to be, here's the new guy.
Mm-hmm.
Here's a new shiny toy. And then you don't see them for a while. Like Jay Lethal, Ring of Honor champion. I don't know.
That's right.
He hasn't been on TV in, 3 months? Something like that.
I think the only time I saw him was when he was announced, which I think was maybe their last pay-per-view before this, and they brought him out.
Yeah, it was I think November, if that. But
you know why you think Jericho isn't ripped or looks better? Because of his weird chest.
Oh, the chops.
From all the,
Well, maybe the fat hanging over his.
I mean, come on.
His belt too. I
don't know, dude.
I know you guys love him. I've never been a fan.
I'd be all right if my stomach.
I don't mind listening to his music, and I can listen to him announce. I've never been a fan of him in the ring though.
Oh wow.
Never.
You should see the other guy though, without his
without his singlet on.
Yeah. That's more my body type. That's shorter though.
Eddie Kingston.
There you go. Oh yeah, that's probably I could fit that guy.
And like last Wednesday, they had a great promo with each other in the ring, and I mean, I was laughing my ass off when Chris Jericho's using his big high vocabulary. He's like, "Dude, I got GED. I have no idea what you're talking about."
But to me right now, and it's hard, right? Because in my DNA, the WWE runs. I mean, that runs thick in my blood, right? Just for centuries, right? Decades, I guess, not centuries, but decades, right? So I don't know. Anyway, 30, 40 years been following this and loving it and trying to live up to it and just being a fan. So, but to see it now, it's like looking at your, dying uncle, and then you come back and AEW puts on a show like it did on Sunday, and you're like, oh, there it is.
And that's where I felt like last September, like when they had CM Punk, Brian Danielson, whatever, and Adam Cole come out, it was kind of like I've missed that. The electricity, the intensity.
right.
I mean, like when I said before on a previous show, or AEW, you see the passion these guys have for the business.
Yeah.
WWE, you don't really see that. And
Now you watched it live, right? So what was your take on it? Were you like, oh, this is wrestling again, or is it like, I hate AEW?
A little bit of both. So you get the good parts.
Yeah.
And then you get this is why I don't watch it,
right?
Which, some botches happened. I don't know. There's I don't know the characters enough to really care of the outcome too much. So I'm just watching it just to kind of see the moves, see the match, see what's going on.
That's why I think Sammy Guevara, he's going to be another top star in this business.
Yeah, so especially some of the younger guys like him, like I don't really know anything about them. So I know the ex-WWE guys. I know some of the storylines, MJF, CM Punk, stuff like that. But I just don't have enough. I don't know. I just don't watch it enough to care.
In previous shows that we talked about, it's like there needs to be more factions and stuff in WWE,
Yeah.
and that's what AEW is doing. And what's nice with their factions is they're mixing some of the old with the young guys. I mean, you have Steen with Darby Allin, and with Jericho, you had Inner Circle was him and Jack Swagger with Sammy, and then MJF was in there before too. And some of the guys like you probably wouldn't watch or give it time of day, but hey, they're with Jericho now. I'm waiting. See, okay, I'm kind of interested now. Let's see what they got. And I kind of like that mixture that they're doing right now. And I think right now I heard that Jeff Hardy's probably going to appear on Wednesday.
He's out of his timeout.
Yeah, I guess so. I don't know. I don't
actually,
really...
I think he was Cesaro's free because his contract expired.
Yeah,
he wasn't released. If you're released, then it's 90 days.
Yeah, we'll see. I'm not excited about either one of those guys showing up on AEW though.
Cesaro? Yeah, I always liked Cesaro, and I felt bad like when he was finally pushing WWE. It's like they always took it away from him. Like last year, he had a big win against Seth Rollins, and had a match against Roman Reigns, which were good matches. Yeah, brings back his Cesaro swing, and fans always been behind him, and then all of a sudden just gone.
Yeah, I don't know. He's got no personality. I don't like his Swiss uppercuts that he does like 40 of them a match. Like, I don't know. I just don't like it.
Right.
But that's where it was good. Like when they first paired him up with Paul Heyman, and it looked like he was going to go challenge Brock years ago, and then all of a sudden I was like, "Oh, you're no longer with Paul Heyman. We're not even going to say why you're not with him." And like he had a good run with Sheamus with the Bar. Yeah, good tag team. And and wasn't using Royal Rumble. Finn Balor wasn't using Royal Rumble, and but now they at least kind of made a wrong right with Finn winning the U.S. Championship, and then he'll be at WrestleMania. And
Ricochet, new Intercontinental Champion.
Another one that they've been doing wrong for a while, and I love watching Ricochet. And he was another one where I wouldn't mind him going to AEW to go against wrestlers his size and capabilities. But
he doesn't need to go there. So the other big news, Madison Square Garden on Saturday. Everyone was expecting something much bigger than what they got, actually.
Cody Rhodes.
The rumor, so the fans just drive themselves in their own frenzy, right? So there literally was no sort of leak or rumor that Cody Rhodes was going to be, like from any official wrestling person or source, that Cody Rhodes was going to make his debut on Saturday at Madison Square Garden. There was literally none other than only fan speculation, because they were making a big deal about this house show, which is an untelevised show at Madison Square Garden, where Brock was going to defend his title against, they didn't know who, because Bobby Lashley was hurt, who he was supposed to fight. So the immediate speculation is because there's a TV crew there and stuff, like, why are they making such a big deal about this house show? Well, here's why. Because it's Madison Square Garden, number one. It's where it all began. Right, for WWE. It's WrestleMania season, so you're at Madison Square Garden, sold out show. But the reason why the crew was there was because Roman Reigns and the Usos jumped Brock at the end. So it really had nothing to do with who Brock was going to wrestle. They weren't debuting anybody. It was simply putting on a TV crew there to make sure that it was quality footage of Roman attacking Brock at the end of the
To set
show.
up the storyline.
And because of all that, people took different stories. And look, Cody Rhodes is not going to debut in WWE and beat Brock Lesnar for a championship.
No.
Never.
No.
Right, no.
So the way, I don't know why anyone would have thought that that was going to be a thing. No WWE fan thought that that was going to be a
Right.
thing. And then the disappointment in that was like, well, I wasn't disappointed. I
Right.
never thought
Austin
that was
Theory
going to
is one who
happen.
actually came out
And people are dogging Austin Theory as, well, that's not a big enough opponent. Why would you guys promote this? They didn't promote that.
They didn't.
They didn't. They didn't say this is going to be a big name.
They said he was going to defend the title.
Defend the title.
First, it's going to be against Bobby Lashley if he's not able to compete.
And Austin Theory was in the Elimination Chamber.
Right.
He's been involved with a lot of storyline. He's the closest wrestler to Vince right now in a storyline, and people are acting like he's a nobody. Which,
and Brock actually likes him.
Yeah, they're trying to build him. Well, what better way to build him than you have everyone on social media tuning in, thinking it's going to be it's going to be Cody Rhodes, and here comes Austin Theory. So now you got the WWE fans, you got every fan refreshing Twitter, seeing who's it going to be, who's it going to be, and then next thing you know, Austin Theory is trending. Well, that wouldn't have happened. So
I was hoping
they're making him big.
It would have been James Ellsworth.
Yeah.
For those that don't know, he was a jobber wrestler that came in to help Braun Strowman get over a few years ago for his dominant push. And he's one of the weirdest looking guys that you'll ever see.
No chin.
And just
bleach
blonde hair, skinny, and just no business being a professional wrestler. Was what he looks
and
like.
he hung out with Carmella for a while.
And how? Yeah, he had a good run. I think he actually even got an action figure out of this whole thing. Which, and now he gets more money now when he does the indie shows at the VFW halls or wherever. And because he's now former WWE superstar James Ellsworth.
Yeah, it's crazy.
But I was kind of hoping for something like that.
Yeah.
Like a total letdown.
I definitely wasn't open for James Ellsworth, but Brock got his ass handed to him at the end. So he got bloodied. So that was their blood.
Right.
And look, it was also their strategy, right? So there's AEW Revolution happening on Sunday. Nothing, WWE's kind of quiet. They had to put some eyes on their product.
That's right.
So they got people tuning in to an untelevised product through social media. Got their stars trending, got everyone talking about WWE. Mission accomplished.
Now, did Reigns rock bottom him?
I don't know. I don't know.
No, it is.
I know there's video.
There was like Brock first did like a bunch of like German suplexes to Reigns and the Usos, and then they got their end.
Because he did use the rock bottom, I think, at Royal Rumble.
He did use it at the Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
Just foreshadow.
Yeah.
What's coming.
Well,
and then he got his revenge against Seth Rollins. Finally got his win over Seth that he hasn't been able to do. But
Becky Lynch got her like esophagus broken or something like that. So we'll see what happens there. I don't know if it's legitimate or if it's for storyline purposes. I don't know.
But yeah, those shots that she took from Bianca last Raw with
Did
her
you
hair.
see that, Kent?
No.
So Bianca Belair, she's got this super long braid, like literally down to her ankles. It's her whole shtick, right? Well, she's like, tells people don't touch my hair. Well, obviously people want to grab her hair. So Becky grabs her hair and she gets her hair from her and she begins to whip her. And literally in the midsection, bare skin, splits her skin.
With
like literally with her hair. She's walking up the ramp. She's literally like bleeding.
You just see it.
You can just see the lines.
Time's
like,
going by.
Yeah, I was like, holy crap. And the first one, that first sound, that was the one that busted open.
Right.
That
did not sound good.
Yeah.
I think we have a message like that. Did not sound
that
good.
was message worthy right there. Did you hear that?
And it's kind of funny too. I mean, yeah, you could see the marks on Becky's midsection. But then what was even more funny is WWE afterwards on Raw or on their website post photos where they shade it and make it even look worse than what it was.
For sure.
Yeah.
But I mean,
it's
like, holy crap, that's going to sting in the shower that night.
Yeah.
Right. Oof. Yeah. See, and Roman Reigns, again, I'm not a big fan of Roman Reigns. He has a hard time carrying it, right? I don't know what it is about him. He just has a hard time, to me, of being the guy who can carry the, WWE.
I think now this is the best version of Reigns we've ever had.
Yeah. So
he seems to be coming more into his own.
Okay.
But I mean, I agree with you. Like when he was being shoved down our throats years ago, where we even get The Rock to come out to try to get people to cheer him. With in Philadelphia, you know they're not going to do that, no matter who it is. They booed Santa Claus for crying out loud.
Right. Okay.
But I mean, yeah. But now where it's like this heel reigns with Heyman too, that kind of help with the mic skills, and
I think that there's some like truth in the character where it's like really just grabbing like his realness, probably how he is more so in real life, and just amplifying it. Like the cockiness is probably was harder for him to be the baby face or the good guy than it is for him to be this character. Just like The Rock, actually. I mean, The Rock, you know, he got booed out of the arenas, die Rocky die, and then he became a heel, and everyone loved him. And the same thing has happened with Roman. They got shoved. Rock got shoved down everyone's throats. He's the blue chipper. He's the next one up, and everyone booed the crap out of him, enough to make him turn on the fans, which is what Roman did as well. And all of a sudden, there's like this character that I think similar to Stone Cold. Even all of a sudden, it's how people feel inside towards people in some scenarios that they're just not able to get off their chest due to whatever reasons. You can't talk like that at work. You can't talk like that. They're amplifying like your feelings. I think when wrestlers are able to hit that and connect with you emotionally with something that you can't express daily because you just can't, because society says you can't, there's like, that's where the turn came for him, because he wasn't good as a baby face, but there's something relatable as like bad as he is now. And so it comes across when his last promo, and he's like, this is my show. This is these are my people. This is my WrestleMania. Like, I felt that, man. I believed him. And there's something there that you can connect with more than someone who's just throwing a smile on their face and being, you know, shoved down your throat. You need to like this guy. John Cena. I never liked John Cena, but I liked him.
Walked out of his WrestleMania matches twice.
I liked him when he was the Thugonomics guy, you know, when he was the bad guy. I liked that. I didn't like the force-fed John Cena.
No, WrestleMania 22 was there with my dad and brother, and a friend of mine. We left right after Triple H's entrance music. Like, don't care to watch this match. I didn't care for Triple H. Didn't care for John Cena. Left. I
always liked Triple H.
I got Shawn Michaels. Same thing in Detroit. My ex-wife and I, we just left right before that match. Like, I saw everything I wanted to see, and let's go beat the crowd.
Yeah. And I like Roman right now. I think he's doing
I actually watch him now.
Job. Yeah.
And before I would click, turn it off, or do something else when he was on. But now I'm actually interested in this.
And you know what? I like Brock Lesnar now, though, too. So Brock Lesnar's the baby face. He's out there with his cowboy hat. You're seeing his personality
come Minnesota. Across. Why is he a cowboy? I don't understand that whole thing. He's not a cowboy.
I don't know.
He's got a ranch.
Well, you know what? I didn't dislike Brock Lesnar with Paul Heyman doing all his talking. He was just the beast, and he was quiet, and he just, you know, ran through everybody. And Paul Heyman's probably the greatest manager, or the voice.
He's got to be right up there.
He's up there. But I think Brock's holding his own as the baby face, because you still know he can run through anybody at any given day. And so he can be goofy, because it doesn't matter. You go tell him he's being goofy. I ain't telling him.
He's a big dude. He's a big dude. He's a mountain.
Yeah. He's an awesome guy, too. I mean, I know there's stories or lores that how he's not, but I mean, I feel like with Brock, I've always kind of relate to in a way of where he gets not necessarily performance anxiety, but the emotions from other people and the empathy or whatever, where he feels all your emotion, and he's just got to get away for a few days. Yeah. And he's actually a quiet guy. And I mean, I know when we talk about wrestling, I'm open and passionate, but when we're out of here and we're at our MC5 group meetings or whatever, chamber stuff, I'm more quiet, reserved. And it's like a lot of times when I'm there, I'm feeling everyone's energy, and it's like,
just show up in that shirt. I think
maybe I should next time.
There you go.
Maybe that's your
put your wig on,
put the wig on, and just go in as a persona. But but I always respect like how he's honest about like, no, I gotta get away. I have to recharge.
Yeah,
because it just physically takes a toll on me, mentally too.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Of course, we're right there at the back minute of this entire show. This is Let Me Tell You Something, Brother, right here. All your sports entertainment information with Tim and Tom. You're going to want to tune in tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. for Innovative Strategies. Come back at noon 30 for questions you never thought you could ask in church. And then, of course, Wednesday evening at 5:30 is Ball Guys and Mike. And then this Thursday, we've got the Bear Facts on Guns. And Friday night, we've got the Dream Home Experts. Good stuff coming up this week. Can't thank you all enough for tuning in and hanging out with us here for the last hour. Any last words there, guys?
Let's see. In 2 weeks, I think Raw's in Chicago. Are you going?
Is it? No, I don't think so. That's on the 22nd, I think, right?
First or
21st.
like that.
Yeah, we actually will just be getting back from Tampa, taking my oldest to go see Green Day and Incubus Music Festival down there in Tampa. So
I think that state's calling you.
I love Florida. So it doesn't have to call too hard.
They got a Green Street down there.
Just a whisper.
That's it. I'm with you. Tom, anything?
I think that's it. I mean, yeah, I probably won't ever go to like another Raw or SmackDown unless it's absolutely free.
Come on, I'll bring you. You'll go if I buy you a ticket.
You're driving.
Hey, for all of us here, 216 Net. Thanks for getting caught in the net. Thanks for hanging out with Let Me Tell You Something, Brother. We'll see you tomorrow. Be good and be good to each other.
Thank you, Brett.
There you go.
Thank you too.
Bow to the masters.